Carlo Van de Weijer. You are Vice President of Intelligent Transport Systems, TomTom. What was the most important, the major innovation we have seen in transport in the last 50 years?
Now, if you see the difference between a car 50 years ago and now, then the thing is that the hardware hasn't changed so very much. It's still piston engines with, so the normal engines haven't changed that much. But what you see is a very big change. There's a lot of electronics on the engines that make the engines work much better, much more reliable and much cleaner. Emissions of cars have gone down rapidly, and also the fuel consumption of a car, if you compare it from 50 years ago with actually very similar basic technology, mainly because of electronics and software, you see that they perform much better, much cleaner and much more efficient.
What do you wish as innovation to come?
Now what you see is that in the last 50 years, because of this electronics and the software, the cars have become so incredibly smart. The thing that's going to change for sure, and we're already doing that as such, is that these cars are going to communicate with each other and use their brightness in order to learn also to tell other cars what's going to happen.
How are you going to ease up more our lives in transport?
Of course, what you have seen when you look at navigation, it started off, say about 20 years ago, but it really started running when these devices become more simple and also easier to use and cheaper. That's about 7-8 years ago. What you see is that it changed from a device where you want to find a destination that you didn't know to a kind of buddy that helps you getting more efficient and safer from A to B. Also when you know where B is, so it's not anymore this find your destination device only. And this is a very essential change in the technology that we're going to offer, and an essential thing about that is the connected navigation. So our navigation is not a device as such, it gets connected to our back offices in order that we can also learn from the device and tell other devices what's coming up. And that's what you see at this moment. That's already how we make traffic information these days. We learn from all the devices where they're driving. We communicate fully anonymously every 2-3 minutes. We know what's happening on that occasion, and we tell other TomToms. And that's the very clever floating car data way of making traffic information. Now, you can do much more than only this, and that's what we're really going to do in the future. Not only communicating as we are doing now with GPRS over the phone, but also, for instance, communicating via radar or with a vehicle to infrastructure communication. So probably our systems will also work there. So a connected navigation, that this system always helps you also when you drive to a well-known destination.
What do you think does it need to be there faster and more efficient?
This is a very key point that the cooperation with the market is very essential. What we as a market party and other private parties as well can bring is volume. A single ITS system like car-to-car communication is very nice in your car, but it doesn't help anything if you're the only one on the road with such a system. It starts bringing added value if you have volume. And if you have the added value, the volume will come. So it's a chicken and egg problem. If these kind of technologies get connected or get integrated in systems that are already sold a million times and are being sold a million times, the ITS world can also use this large volume of private parties such as ourselves, but also other manufacturers. And this volume thing is a very important thing. And we have the connection to the customer. And the connection to the customer means that we know what drives him, we know what is added value to him. We are also able to add this value in a very efficient way because we are market driven, and which is very important also, and the government themselves tell that as well, that the government is not trusted by an end consumer, and we as a company are trusted by an end consumer. And that's a fair difference, so that we can also bring in the trust of the end consumer.
Okay, thanks very much for your answers, and have nice panels to come.
Okay, thank you. Okay.